honestly extremely strange to be on stage here because I was in school just 5 years back doing exactly what I saw. But it's a pleasure to be here and thank you so much for having me. I think what I will do in the next couple of minutes is throw some light into what I've been doing the past 5 years and maybe put into perspective what you can do just in school and take it forward from there. My name is Sheetala. I run a small brand called Saka Organics. We're based out of locally. In fact, we have a manufacturing unit locally. We're based out of Hyderabad. So to just take you back through my journey, I went to a boarding school from when I was in the 3rd standard. Been in the school till 12th standard. It's a very interesting school I went to. It's an alternate school, no access to internet. You have to do everything by yourself, and that's had a rub-off effect on me. To cut a very long story short, when I was in the 11th standard, we had a school project where we had to work with local rural women in and around Andhra. We had to come up with a project where we empower them as well as set up a small business because I was in accounts and eco major. What we did was we picked up 5 rural women. These were akkas who were essentially sweeping our floors and washing our utensils, all of that. We picked up 5 of them. Went to our school teacher, learned how to make a basic soap bar, a handmade soap bar. So we learned how to make a soap bar from our science teacher in the school science lab. After which we taught these rural women how to make soap. That's essentially how it started. Over the weekends, we would teach them how to make soap. We worked on the entire business angle of it, which is how do we pack it, what goes into the soap, how do we price it, what are the margins that the akkas can make. What we as students were doing were just enabling a livelihood project. We were not making anything out of this. Now, over my 2 years there for 11th and 12th, we essentially set up a completely running business for these akkas. They would essentially make natural handmade soap and sell it in front of the school office. I want to put some numbers into this picture because that's the kind of impact that, that it had on me and which is why I continue to do it even after school. These akkas were earning 5,000 rupees at school by doing all the work that they were doing. They were typically working, all the way from 5 in the morning till 9 in the night. What this initiative back then, it was called Marri Chettu Organics because this school was known for a banyan tree, was they would basically make this soap in their free time during the week, package it the way we asked them to, price it the way we asked them to, and sell it outside of the school office. Now, this is a school where visitors and parents are allowed only on Saturdays and Sundays. The students are not allowed to have any cash. So, the only potential customers for them were parents and students, parents and visitors on Saturdays and Sundays. Over the period of 2 years, these akkas were now consistently earning 20,000 rupees out of this initiative every month. This was essentially a 4x exponential, income for them as a household woman in a village in Andhra Pradesh. That was the kind of impact it had on them. They were now able to kind of educate their kids, which they were not able to previously. So this is to see what we could do just because of the kind of impact it had on the people I was working with. So this was cut to 2020. I was in Kakinada. My father runs a auto ancillary unit that employs about 300 local workers. So the idea was, why don't I expedite the same thing which I did in school back here? Started very, very small from scratch because Running a livelihood project is like an NGO, but running a company is very, very different from that. The objective is different. The product has to be top class to be able to sell to a consumer. So I spent about 1 year after that just trialing soaps in my father's lab. It's a metallurgy lab. I took a little space over there, started to make soaps, started to understand what goes into it, the entire science. I am not a science student by any means. I did accountancy and eco and math. So for me, it was relearning everything in the name of a soap. To cut a very long story short, that's how it started locally over here. We took up about 5-6 people locally, taught them how to make soaps, started marketing online on Amazon. We had our own website, Flipkart, all of that. Things started to pick up. We used social media very effectively to communicate what we wanted to sell. COVID came down. We started placing our products in retail stores, in flea markets. All through this, it's still an experimentation phase because we were figuring out what works, what doesn't work. It had been a process of 2-3 years already by then. When we formally started Saka Organics was when we understood there was pull in the market for the product we were selling. That's when we officially set up a company, a manufacturing unit, gotten into the, the game of really running a business in the consumer space. Now, while all of this, I think what was important for me was, as good as it sounds to scale, to sell more products to more people, we wanted to retain what this brand was for, which was clean ingredients. This is an organic product, this is a natural product. As we scale, we didn't want to compromise on that at all. We wanted to make sure that this initiative still was empowering local women in and around Andhra. That was number 2. Number 3 was staying true to what we wanted to do, which was in some form a mixture of art, because a lot of our brand revolves around the design element of the brand as well as the product we sell. So I think these were 3 things that we were sure we wanted to do. So that's essentially how we scaled Saka Organics now. We're in about 6 different cities. We're starting to export. We have multiple verticals. We do, we sell to hospitals, we sell to hotels, we do end consumer, all of that. But in the last 6 years, I think for me, there have been 3 biggest learnings that I just like to, point out. It's been a 6-year stint of building Saka Organics now. Number 1 is, you will fail every single month, every single year on multiple different aspects of just running a business. That is the nature of entrepreneurship. It may be in terms of a product failure, it may be a market failure, it might be just something as small as you're not able to attract enough people to come and work at your manufacturing unit, in my case. So one of my biggest learnings was, do not be afraid to fail. Just go ahead, fail, because you know what will work if that has failed. Number 2, I think a very big misconception I had while starting out was, we're too small, what can we do? This is an extremely, cluttered market. That was absolutely wrong on my end. The biggest advantage is to start small. And start growing from there, because when you're small, you can afford to make mistakes, you can afford to fail. Number 3, and I think this is where a lot of young people break through, is you have to consistently be at the job. Just because you think the product has failed or something has happened, you cannot stop. You have to be at the job. You have to be consistent in entrepreneurship. That's the only way you can grow. So I think these are my 3 learnings at Saka Organics, as in building Saka Organics, and to just give you a small excerpt of what Saka is. We're a natural personal care brand, a clean label based out of Hyderabad. We have a local manufacturing unit here. We empower local women. We're an EcoCert, B Corp certified brand. We sell products that diversify between skin care, hair care, and oral care. And I'd love for all of you to come and visit us, check us out. I don't want to do a sales pitch, but this is the brand. And thank you so much for having me.